Hello, I'm Bob the Pet Ferret, and this is my gaming channel, which is currently screaming headlong into its 12th anniversary. To celebrate this, and the fact it's been nearly a year since I gave the channel a spring clean and a drastic relaunch, I've been looking back at the journey I've taken with the channel over the years, in hopes that it can be turned into lessons for both myself and other people who may be looking to set up channels of their own. Today, we start at the end of 2012. I'd been making Let's Plays for a while, and things were about to take a turn. The Tomb Raider Anniversary and Sonic Generations Let's Plays were the obvious thread that started a shift in my content. I'd already expressed interest in looking at games that referenced other games and making appropriate comparisons. And then Sony announced PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, a game designed to take on Smash Bros. Quite literally at their own game. As a Smash Bros. Fan and a lover of Sony's properties, I was excited and eager to play it. As the roster got revealed, I began to see comments expressing bafflement because they didn't know who some of the characters were, and I thought it'd be cool to try and educate people on that. I'd also been watching a channel called Crappy Capture Device, a now defunct channel that looked back at Smash Bros. And the origins of character moves. These days everyone with a Nintendo-based channel seems to be making this stuff, but at the time, this was the only series of its kind. These three elements combined in my mind. I wanted to teach people about the characters they didn't know about, and it fit with my previous comparative Let's Plays, so taking inspiration from Crappy Capture Device, I decided to make PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale history. The video order was decided on a single factor: how easy it was to get the footage together and make the video for each character and stage. It doesn't come across in the final playlist, but the videos were originally organised into 4 categories. Characters I had all the games I needed for, characters I only needed one game for and was vaguely interested in anyway, characters I either needed multiple games or had to wait for a major release, and characters I had to completely start from scratch with because I'd never played a single game from that series or was otherwise uninterested. Stages were slotted in based on when the franchises in the stage got represented with a character, and then shuffled those with additional franchises into the order, roughly on similar rules to characters. That's why Sackboy was first. While the other 5 characters in the initial run would need a little time to get the footage I needed, the Little Big Planet titles allowed me to skip around to the bits I needed easily. And so, in 2013, I released the history of Sackboy's moves and started the whole series. Looking back on it, it was an impressive first dive into this style of video. Not the best, but considering before this I was making Let's Plays and not scripted and edited work, my abilities were solid. Compare this to the Portal Let's Play and you'll see what I mean. There are improvements I would make if I was to make it now, but more down to process than the actual content, which I'd only change the pacing of a little bit. Because the process would take way too long. I'd take weeks to put together one of these videos, while now my recent Crash 4 video took 2 days of editing, with a couple of additional days for scripting and footage sourcing. But the end result is decent. I'm genuinely proud of these videos, and they were fun to work on at the time. Plus it pushed me to play a whole bunch of games I wouldn't have done otherwise. Not that they were all winners, I was never gonna like Killzone, and I still don't. But on the other hand, it introduced me to Gravity Rush, although the cat video is definitely one of the worst because it was mostly awkwardly recorded on an old camcorder. The PS4 remaster of Gravity Rush was a long way off, so I think I'm justified in that one. The videos were also massively successful. This is largely thanks to a charm offensive I took on the official PlayStation All-Stars forum back in the day. I promoted the series there, gave updates and engaged in discussions around the game while the channel link hung around in my signature. They're still my most watched videos on the entire channel, as the algorithm caught hold of the audience engaged in those videos and still pushes them to the few people still interested in the game now. I'm somewhat proud of that success too, but there is a downside to it as well. You see, there was always going to be a finite end to the series. Once I'd covered all the characters, stages and items, there would be nowhere to go. Well, there was, as I'd made a few mistakes and left a couple of things out, so I did promise to go back and make those corrections. Something that I kind of regret doing now. Because I'd left that open, a lot of the fans of that series hung around, and to this day I still occasionally get requests to make more content on the game despite the fact that, well, there's nothing left to talk about. I could go back and make those corrections, but, well, I'll get to that. The series is over, I've moved on, but the success of that series has kind of hung on me, with those who subscribed for those videos wanting more content on the game that will never come, while those who originally subscribed for the Let's Play content largely vanished after the switch. There are 2 lessons here, one positive and one negative. The positive lesson is how I made that series a success. I've never promoted anything as hard as I did that series, and clearly it's something I need to do more of with my current content. Of course, it was really easy with that series because it was all on one game, and the forum was right there. It also helped that it was easy to engage people with it since I could ask for input on origins of certain moves. Indeed, the Toro and Spike videos would have been a lot harder without those forum goers, and I'm grateful to them. But still, it shows that going on a charm offensive to places where your potential audience is hanging out is important. But don't be spammy, because no one likes that. Fortunately, I never was, only making a thread when new videos released and otherwise joining in discussions as normal, which meant when I did make one of those threads, they were usually welcomed. Excuse me while I make a note to do more of this now on, I don't know, Reddit or something, that might work. But the negative lesson is this: don't rely on a single thing for your success. Have an exit strategy in mind. I should have properly wound down the series with the items video, confirmed it was the end, and started producing content that would be a natural progression away to more general work. But instead I panicked, promised the corrections and updates, and flailed around a bit. So without a strategy in place, it was inevitable what was going to happen next. But I will be discussing that in tomorrow's video.